An election described as repressive with several human rights abuses.
The president should account.
Several people were killed. But what was most eye-catching was this. The Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, on day 4, January 19th at 9:28 p.m., tweeted, and I quote, "We have killed 22 NUP terrorists since last week. I'm praying that the 23rd is Kabobi," end of quote. Kabobi is a nickname that the general uses to refer to Bobi Wine. At 9...
Who speaks like that? The command of the defense forces, referring to members of the political party of Bobi Wine, the National Unity Platform, referring to them as terrorists, and says, we've killed 22, and I want to kill the 23rd, I want him to be Bobi Wine. Who speaks like that? When did we get to a point of normalizing that rhetoric?
4:46 p.m., General Muhoozi tweeted, and I quote, "We will kill on sight all NUP so-called foot soldiers."
We will kill on sight all NUP foot soldiers.
Until Mzee says otherwise, end of quote. Almost an hour later, Muhoozi posted, and I quote, "Personally, I'm embarrassed by our record. 22 killed in 1 week is too low. I promise to do better." In the video, we see blood-stained floors, spent cartridges, injured victims, and bullet holes in the walls. Live rounds were clearly used here. We, however, didn't find any evidence of pangas as said by President Museveni.
No pangas, exactly.
No, like, since I'm the eldest, and I have my little sister and my little brothers. Like, I try hard to be strong like foe. I don't want to show them that I'm broken.
Quite a sensitive subject to discuss among the community in Butambala, but she has the resolve and determination to speak about the events on that day.
This is what has been normalized. Kill people. Forget about it. As long as you have a president who's going to defend you.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed, broadcasting to you from these United States of the Americas, the land of Donald John Trump. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. From wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might enjoy this conversation, my name is Mordecai Murisa, and you're welcome to, you guessed that right, Mordecai Murisa Live. Exactly. Oh yeah. Like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, we have fun here, and let's do this. Let's do it one more time, or many more times. I got a pen in my head. All right. I should say this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want a video you watch, suppose you watched one here on Mordecai Murisa Live, and you found it really, really interesting, and you wished people watched it, many people watched it, you can do two tricks that can do that magic. Like that video and comment. 2 tricks that create the magic. So I'm going to ask you, I rarely do this. Make sure you watch this video till the end, but most importantly, make sure you comment and like this video. Rarely do I say that, but please make sure you do. This is a video where 2 civic organizations, the Africa Uncensored and Ukweli Africa, expose Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the violence that was meted onto innocent people during the 2026 elections. they torch Museveni. And we need to. I know we live in an attention deficit society or generation where people would prefer to watch a clip of 1 minute or 20 seconds. I understand. But I know you're not one of those people. You'd like to see something that goes beyond 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes we made videos that go to 30 minutes or even 45 minutes and you've stayed. And I'm super glad. I don't take that for granted. I'm glad. So, in a world where people are still struggling to find people who can pay attention for 10 minutes, I'm glad that I have you. Reminds me of the song, the lyrics from Lucky Dube's I've Got You, Baby. He goes on to say, now that I got you, baby, I ain't gonna look no farther. So now that I got you, you're watching, I'm not gonna let Museveni's lawlessness and impunity go unnoticed. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you to this conversation that was compiled by Ukweli Africa and Uncensored Africa, Uncensored and Ukweli Africa. I want you to watch here as they show you. Let me share my screen.
Mr. Chagulanyi and his evil foreigners that back him.
Listen to this rhetoric of a president. Evil foreigners that back him. The government of Uganda is being funded by a number of foreigners or foreign entities, foreign organizations. But the moment you have people who are your friends and they might not be Ugandan, those are evil, according to Museveni.
Fail to understand that Uganda is a land of spiritual and political matters.
That was a veiled threat. Listen to that. The farther a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. Exactly. That's why they hate me. If they caught me right now, I cannot even imagine. Probably they would cut me alive and make me eat my flesh. No doubt.
The duly elected president.
President Museveni was declared the winner of the 2026 presidential election.
Total number of invalid.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, right away.
An election described as repressive with several human rights abuses.
The president should account.
Several people were killed. And many voices suppressed.
I don't want to show them that I'm broken.
I love this girl. You're going to listen to what she says here.
One marked by killings, agony, pain, and a persistent lack of
That was the abduction of Jolly Jacqueline Tukamushaba, the NUP deputy president for Western Uganda.
agony, pain, and a
That was the abduction. We have been desensitized, that we have normalized lawlessness and impunity. That even my mere commentary about events that unfolded in Uganda during election, before, during, and after, makes me a target to the Museveni criminal regime. That even some of my friends will be like, Mordecai, what type of a drone would you like these folks to come in? You know, that van is defined or referred to as a drone in Uganda. They're like, what color of a drone would you want these guys to use when they are coming to abduct you? That's how desensitized we have reached, that we even joke in situations where people's rights are abused. Sad.
persistent lack of accountability in the country's electoral cycles.
That's the name of the documentary, Death in Darkness.
The Uganda Communications Commission has directed all licensed mobile network operators and internet service providers to implement a temporary suspension of the following services. A, public internet access.
shut down public internet access. Now, I saw that I have a lot of people who watch me from the United States and the UK, then others follow. Uganda, actually, number one, then the UK, then USA, and my brothers and sisters in the Middle East, and they're spread all over the world. But I would like you to have a conversation with a friend of yours, if you're in countries where they have a semblance of respect to human rights, and tell them, ask them, how would it be if the government said, okay, from now on, internet access will be shut down in the USA? How would people respond? The Museveni criminal regime is so used to breaking the law that they just announce it as though that's a thing, a badge of honor.
B, sale of and registration of new SIM cards. C, outbound data roaming services to one network area countries.
Okay, we're going to jump right here, and I'll try to show you. We're going to focus on Muwanga Kivumbi. That's where the focus is in this conversation. Listen to what went down at Muwanga Kivumbi's home, what Museveni said. Muwanga Kivumbi, member of parliament for Butambala County, who is in prison, was arrested for something you're going to find out here, for no reason, but listen.
Financial services, email, and other essential online.
That's when he was announcing the restoration of internet accessibility
activities.
Once access was restored, Ugandans went online to share their thoughts and vent about the election, posting on social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter. But what was most eye-catching was this. The Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, on day 4, January 19th at 9:28 p.m., tweeted, and I quote, "We have killed 22 NUP terrorists since last week. I'm praying that the 23rd is Kabobi," end of quote. Kabobi is a nickname that the general uses to refer to Bobi Wine. At 9...
Who speaks like that? The commander of the defense forces, referring to members of the political party of Bobi Wine, the National Unity Platform, referring to them as terrorists, and says, we've killed 22, and I want to kill the 23rd, I want him to be Bobi Wine. Who speaks like that? When did we get to a point of normalizing that rhetoric?
4:46 p.m., General Muhoozi tweeted, and I quote, "We will kill on sight all NUP so-called foot soldiers."
We will kill on sight all NUP foot soldiers.
Until Mzee says otherwise, end of quote. Almost an hour later, Muhoozi posted, and I quote, "Personally, I'm embarrassed by our record. 22 killed in 1 week is too low. I promise to do better."
Read that again. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. That was coming from the commander of the defense forces of Uganda. Writing says, "Personally, I am embarrassed by our record. 22 killed in 1 week is too low. I promise to do better." And this man has got people who support him, who look at him some sort of a presidential hopeful, who present him as a better candidate. It's sad. It's sickening.
End of quote. But these social media posts from the highest-ranking military officer in the Uganda People's Defense Forces were seen by the opposition as a direct threat to criticism. These statements have sent Bobi Wine, who was referred to as Kabobi in the posts, into hiding for fear of his life.
Right
now, I'm speaking to you while in hiding. This is because as soon as the election was finished, Museveni's son, who is also chief of the Ugandan military, issued an order to take me to him, dead or alive.
That man committed no crime. The only crime he committed was running against Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Running against Yoweri Kaguta Museveni became a crime that he had to hide and finally flee his country.
Bobi Wine went into hiding soon after the election.
That was the abduction of his, the wife of Bobi Wine's AD. That's the abduction of his wife.
Meanwhile, other National Unity Party officials, including Deputy Chairperson Lina Zedriga and Western Region Deputy President Jolie Tukamushaba, have been arrested and detained.
Bobi Wine is my president.
Unless you kill me, I'll say that forever, ever.
For example, in Butambala, at the house of Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi, people were shot and killed in one house by the police.
Muwanga Kivumbi, the outgoing member of parliament for Butambala constituency, was a point of reference in the president's speech.
When Kivumbi was defeated, they came with the pangas to attack the polling station and they were shot.
This makes me really want to cry. And I'm really sorry. I shouldn't be doing this. Museveni has become extremely so confident in breaking the law that he's going to come on your screen and just tell lies. Listen to what he says. Listen here. I want you to pay attention to what he says, and I'm going to show you video proof that says to the contrary, that shows everything is a complete lie from Museveni. Listen here.
Point of reference in the president's speech.
When Kivumbi was defeated, they came with the pangas to attack the polling station and they were shot. 7 of them were shot dead there with the pangas.
So they came with pangas and they were shot. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you to what he's trying to refer to. This is Muwanga Kivumbi. This is the day those so-called 7 people he's talking about were killed. They were not attacking anybody. They were at Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi's home. They were shot at. They were in the garage. They were not having any weapons. Zero. No one was attacking a polling station. Zero. But he's going to go on and tell lies. I cry for my country. This is when they were shooting outside. This is the home of the member of parliament. That's the member of parliament hiding right there. That's Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi. Watch here. Watch here. All these people hiding. As they were shooting, these people were just hiding. Those are his family members. Look at the member of parliament. Museveni believes that they had attacked a polling station. It is sad. We're going to come back to that. But for now, let's go back to this documentary. See, Jesus.
Kivumbi was arrested in connection to political violence in Butambala. According to police, 7 people who they claimed were his supporters were shot dead on the 16th of January 2026. The police further stated that these individuals attacked a polling station in Butambala wielding machetes.
But they were killed at Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi's home. 2 statements cannot be true. You cannot kill them from a polling station and kill them at the home of Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi at the same time.
Investigative program Islands obtained video evidence from the scene. While some eyewitnesses were afraid to speak out, we were able to speak to some. This is Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi's home in Butambala, where the 7 people with pangas that the president referred to were shot and killed.
Yeah, that's not a polling station. How shameless do you have to be? I mean, how insensitive, how rude, how grotesque must you be that you don't care? Actually, up to now, the president has never said, I send condolences to the families that lost their loved ones. Zero. No accountability at all.
Islands received exclusive content filmed on the eve of the shooting. In the video, we see blood-stained floors, spent cartridges, injured victims, and bullet holes in the walls. Live rounds were clearly used here. We, however, didn't find any evidence of pangas as said by President Museveni.
No pangas, exactly. There's no evidence whatsoever. Jeez.
We spoke to Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi, who was now a suspect in the killings. An interview just a few hours to his arrest.
They're simply trying to run away from a massacre that was occasioned inside my house. And for me, that's it. The bottom line is the president should account for the dead. The security officers and the RDCs should be arrested and made to account because they were on the scene. Now, if they want to run away and say it's me who killed, we have cartridges that were picked in the morning. All guns in Uganda are engraved, and you can tell which gun fired which bullet when you look at the leftover of the cartridge. So, if the police is thorough and wants to do a non-partisan job, they will arrive at one conclusion. They will simply go and arrest the head of operation of that day, the RDC and the DPC and the officers that massacred innocent Ugandans.
Up to now, none of those people mentioned has been even summoned at the police to make a statement. They just arrested a member of parliament, Museveni, who lied that he had terrorists and, he was, I don't know. Jeez.
He was later arrested on terrorism charges stemming from the violent incidents in Butambala. Caught up in the rubble that fateful night was the late Ruth Nakanjako. She's believed to have been killed in the shooting at Honorable Kivumbi's home. Aisha, at 25 years old, is struggling to comprehend everything. Is a survivor of the same shooting. Aisha says she was among Honorable Kivumbi's supporters that day. She witnessed the horror shooting at his place, and memories of her mother's killers still linger on her mind.
No, since I'm the eldest, and I have my little sister and my little brothers. I try hard to be strong like foe. I don't want to show them that I'm broken.
Quite a sensitive subject to discuss among the community in Butambala, but she has the resolve and determination to speak about the events on that day.
This is what has been normalized. Kill people. Forget about it. As long as you have a president, who's going to defend you? Who's going to tell lies? And he told those lies in front of religious leaders he had met when he said, oh, those were terrorists. I don't know. I don't know what's going to take us to get our country out of this abyss. It is sad. It is heartbreaking. But we've got to do it. Because apparently the folks we have in power do not care. They don't care what means they will use to consolidate power. If they need to kill, and nobody's going to hold any of them to account. Let me give you an example. Right now, they are endorsing, they said they've been fighting corruption, and they've raided homes of Anita Among. They're taking away her cars and stuff like that. And guess who Museveni is recommending? Jacob Oboth, who was involved in stealing iron sheets that were meant to go to the vulnerable communities in Karamoja. A thief is being recommended for Speaker of Parliament by Museveni. And guess who Museveni is endorsing for deputy? Thomas Taibwa, who was an accomplice and enabler over Anita Amongo's corruption racket. They don't care. They do not care.
But it just keeps coming back. When I saw her, the way I tried to wake her up, and those words that the army people said when I told them that they need to help those people, and they said they can't help them, they can't do anything.
Oh my God.
Her then husband, Joseph Cheyune, is now struggling to explain to his son the whereabouts of his mother. a conversation quite heavy for him to have.
I've told you about the words of Tupac Shakur. He had a tattoo. It was Thug Life. That was an acronym for a sentence. The hate you give little infants. Everybody. I don't know what's going to be explained to that kid, to that little boy. You know, we always wonder, how do people end up being extreme or choosing extremist ideas? The hate you give to little infants F's everybody.
She is now the mother figure in the home.
I have to stay strong for them, because if I just keep on crying in front of them, hiding myself and all that, it will affect them more. Not even most.
Aisha is deeply pained by the president's statements.
That's what he said, but that's not true, because I was there. And just Amir said that the people that they killed, they were not from Butambala. Yet you've seen, okay? We had nothing. Not even a single stone, not even a single stick. We have no guns. We're at home, Honorable's place.
This is Nakanjako's final resting place. She's a victim of a violent election. Misfortune befell Joseph's family.
According to Museveni, that is a terrorist who had to be killed.
Millie Nampereza, a single mother of 5 children, now orphans, was shot dead at Kivumbi's place. Zaitun is Millie's daughter.
Then kabina bamuwalula ne wajja webbweddene then bamukubano mu kisambya essasi ono nga waliwo ebbwa ne wano waliwo ebbwa ku mukono then ne wano ku bulago baba asika bulago ne baleetawo ebbwa simanyi nakumanya ng'ebigere byonna byegatanye bwe biti nga takyafaananyi bakusaba bamuyitira.
It was a painful death for Millie. Her body was deformed beyond human recognition, quite dehumanizing. Several witnesses we spoke.
The question is, what kind of people are you killing? Now, not that I justify any sort of murder, but having kept these people in poverty, you don't even grant them an opportunity to engage in any civic activity, like voting or being polling agents for their candidate.
Who told us that Millie's body was undressed and shamed by...
I'm sorry for crying here.
...the security forces that should have protected her. This video was recorded at the dawn of the shooting. And these onlookers examined some of the remaining items of the deceased that day. This is what was left of Millie that day. Her dress was abandoned at the shooting scene. Millie's mother is struggling to deal with the death of her daughter, a pillar she heavily relied on. Those are some of the Ugandan citizens who were believed to have been shot in February this year, not by criminals or terrorists, but allegedly by security forces of their own government. Killings that the president described as necessary.
Uganda is the land of martyrs. In my New Year's speech, I made this reference, but people don't listen to my speeches.
I wonder why they don't listen to your speeches, because they're boring. They're full of lies. You offer unsolicited lectures. You are always bullish, arrogant, and telling blatant lies. Nobody cares about your speeches. Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised people don't listen because you're a liar. Who wants to listen to a liar? A bully. A man who has never moved beyond what went down in Ruwero. He still looks at every person. Actually, in that speech, he said that in Uganda, Uganda is comprised of two types of opposition. I'm going to show you here just a moment.
They think I'm just talking.
Yeah, you're usually just talking and telling a lot of lies.
I never talk anything. Everything I talk is deliberate and decisive.
Yuck.
If you read that speech of my New Year, I said, you people, Uganda is the land of martyrs. If you don't know.
We've heard what the president said. However, our investigation has shown that Millie, Sarah, Ruth, Serubiri Henry, and others lost their lives at the hands of security forces that should have protected them. A memory lane of killings, agony, pain, and a total lack of accountability in Uganda's election cycle.
Ukweli Africa, Museveni, swear in the name of the Almighty God.
This is what you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We've just watched a few of them. I just have to jump forward to around the 9th minute, but you can go on and watch the entire thing. It's on this YouTube channel, Africa Uncensored and Ukweli Africa. Watch the entire thing. It is unbelievable. It is sickening to see Museveni's... Up to now, nobody has been held to account because you know what? You can kill as long as you kill in the name of Museveni. Because it pretty much became the state, and the state became him.
Capacity to... Because they were planning...
Listen to the liar in chief.
Look
at his face when he's getting ready to tell a lie because they were planning. Oh, let me... it looks like he's downloading this lie from his bat because they were planning.
It will be better. Of course, we have the capacity to... Because they were planning, there's something happened in Butambala. Butambala, a character called...
He's not a character. He's an honorable member of parliament. You are a character. He's an honorable member of parliament.
Kivumbi was defeated. Now, the plan everywhere was that where Nup is defeated, gangs with the pangas. You remember pangas?
I don't know who stole this man's childhood. Something was done to him when he was a child that he became this. He tells lies without any restraint, like no hesitation, no remorse. He just tells lies with a straight face. And I mentioned about his childhood because I remember, you can go on and search on NTV, on YouTube, put in Boniface Byanyima Museveni. You will see one of his guardians who raised him said he was a loner, never took advice. And then Winnie Byanyima, his ex-girlfriend, told us that at one time thieves beat up Museveni's mother. And they called Winnie Byanyima's family to go and take care. They took care of Museveni's mother for a year. Museveni never paid a visit, neither say thank you. Something is fundamentally evil with this man. Like there's something sick at his being. I feel, sometimes I got to a point where I don't even feel angry, I feel sad. He has not known happiness at all. Like zero. There's no man. You cannot be so much drunk on power that you want to stay president forever. There's something fundamentally wrong. It is beyond greed. It is beyond selfishness. It is beyond narcissistic. There's something fundamentally evil. And I feel sad for him. I feel really sad. Like he tells lies with a straight face. I cannot. Not even Hollywood would have such kind of an actor who is able to tell a lie with a straight face. I think some lies you can detect and be like, okay, this is a lie. Like he tells stupid lies without even smiling.
With the pangas, should attack the police.
See, he was speaking to religious leaders, like lying to their faces. That's why I said there's no remorse. Tell me about this perverted confidence.
Station. And that's what they did.
And that's why they did. And that's why they did. No, that's not what they did. Your security jackbooted thugs shot at people who were at the home of Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi. Okay, let's take what you say on face value. How about you say, I extend my condolences to the families that lost their people, and we are launching thorough investigation. Before he even knew what was going on, he's already being a judge and finding Muwanga Kivumbi guilty of terrorism. Laughing for what? What's funny about... Listen, how sickening, how evil that you're talking about, oh, people were shot and killed. Why do you find a space for laughter?
Polling station. And that's what they did. When she was defeated.
What's funny? What is funny there?
They came with the pangas to attack the polling station.
They came with the pangas to attack. No, that didn't happen. Stop telling lies.
They were shot. 7 of them were shot dead there with the pangas.
No. You just watch the video. I think this way I wanted to show you.
80 million people turned almost 300,000. So, but it's a good test of the strength of the NRM, but it's not all the strength. If all the strength of the NRM turn up, there will be no opposition in Uganda.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, the opposition, some of the opposition are wrong.
He believes that people who oppose him fall in two categories. One is wrong,
but not terrorists.
Oh, wrong?
But some of the opposition are wrong and also terrorists.
Wrong, but not terrorists. Wrong and terrorists. He doesn't have space for opposition, for a divergent opinion. He doesn't. The moment you oppose him, you're wrong or you are a terrorist. This is a sick man, like very fundamentally sick. And that I feel sad for him. I don't feel angry. Like, no.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.